Everybody likes a good bonus, so we're going to go over two bonus examples that are taken from the book to help you further understand how these ideas can be applied and what it looks like in practice. So the first one, this set is more of a 100 freestyle racing set, and the secondary goal is to improve the feel for the water and help with force application with the upper body. So as you'll see, we're going to go 625s on a minute, 3 times through. We'll take a 200 easy and we'll do the whole thing twice. So the first set of 6 is done with a parachute or any sort of resistance that you like. That's just going to create a little bit more pressure on the upper body. The next 6 are without resistance, and the last 6 are with fins. So each set of 6, they're going to get a different feel for how they're moving through the water, a different speed, and they're also going to learn how to apply force a little bit differently. Now the first round, they're going to do it with a buoy and or band, so it's just the upper body that's working. And then the second round is going to be performed swimming. So what's happening here is that the first round, there's more of an emphasis on creating propulsion and creating feel with the upper body. And the second round, they're learning how to integrate that within the full stroke of swimming. Now, so we're going to add even more variability by changing what the hands are doing on each set of 625s. So for the first 225s, you're going to hold one tennis ball in the hand and they're going to switch it to 25. The second 225s, you're going to hold one paddle and one tennis ball, and then you're going to switch it the second 25. And then the last set of 2, it's just going to be one paddle, and you're going to switch at the second 25. So there's a lot of variability going on, and there's going to be a lot of different repetitions. So the idea is to learn how to create force and how to create speed in all sorts of different contexts. So this is a set that's probably going to be performed pretty early in the season because there's so much going on, and it's going to make it difficult for swimmers to really lock in on what they're doing. But because they're experiencing so many things, it's really going to broaden their perspective on how to move water and how to create propulsion. And of course, the whole set, they're going to do 36 25s at a pretty good effort. And so it's certainly going to have a training impact and a training effect as well. And so this is an example where there's a whole lot of skill development going on. At the same time, there's still a whole lot of training going on. Whatever you might say about this set, it's certainly not going to be boring, so it's going to be engaging for the kids. And if you're timing everything, they're going to get a sense of what's effective and what's not effective as they move through the water. So an example of how a set can accomplish physical objectives, but also including a lot of skill development and a lot of learning opportunities throughout the entire set. Number 2, so one of the biggest challenges in swimming is helping swimmers improve their alignment, because it's often about what they don't do as opposed to what they do, and it's more about removing stuff that doesn't need to be there than adding things. And so it can be pretty vague, and these differences are often subtle, hard to see, and hard to feel. So we have to take different strategies to help swimmers learn these skills. So what we're going to do here, this is a butterfly set, and what we're focusing on is the impact of the breathing. So all these 25s are at a strong effort. If you want to have them go faster, you can increase the interval. If you want to make it more of an endurance focus, you can decrease the interval. It's all up to you. And so for the first 225s, they're going to dolphin kick on the surface with fins. And so as they do that, it's going to be a really narrow profile as they go through the water, and they're not going to be creating as much resistance. Then the next 225s, they're going to swim without breathing, or alternatively, you could use a snorkel. The idea here is that there's going to be a little bit more resistance, and they're going to have to deviate from that really streamlined position from the dolphin kicking. However, the goal is to deviate as little as possible while still creating speed with the upper body and retaining the rhythm of the stroke. And the next 2, they're going to breathe every other stroke, which is obviously going to further disrupt horizontal alignment. However, the goal is to learn the skill of minimizing that disruption while breathing. And then the next 2, they're going to breathe every stroke, so there's going to be a lot more disruption of the alignment, and their goal is to try to minimize that disruption as they go through. And they can repeat this however many times you want. This particular example had 5 rounds. So from this set, they're starting from a position of really great alignment, and they're trying to minimize how much they move from that alignment while starting to integrate more and more of the skill of butterfly swimming. If you really wanted to focus on the alignment aspect of it, you could perform some rounds with flutter kicking, or perhaps the odd 25s with flutter kicking that really emphasizes a flat trajectory through the water, and then perform the even rounds or the even 25s with a full undulation of the dolphin kick. That can help them get even more awareness of what it's like to move and stay in horizontal alignment as they move through the water. So rather than explicitly instructing swimmers on how to execute these skills, or how to minimize their alignment through the water, you're providing a series of sensory experiences so they can feel what it's like to have a really great line, and then they aim to maintain that as much as they can as they start to add the other aspects of the stroke. Obviously, they're not going to be able to do it 100%, but the closer they can get to that, the faster they're going to move through the water. And you can add performance times to this. You can keep track of the times, or you can make it more of a sensory experience, whatever you prefer. Some rounds you can perform more of a sensory awareness, and some rounds you can perform for speed. It all really depends on what you want, but the key idea is to focus on helping them become aware of what it's like to move through the water with great alignment, and then start to execute on that when they do their full stroke normal butterfly swimming. Hope these two examples further illustrated the concepts of how you can develop sets that train and teach, and you can use these ideas in your coaching. Definitely share your sets. I love to hear what you come up with.